Hi, this is James Churchill today, and it's June 7th, 2016, and I'm with Reverend Catherine Lemons and Rector at Christ Episcopal Church in Austin, Minnesota. And today we're going to be talking about the Open Table program.
Hi, I'm Catherine Lemons. So, Jim, what do you want to know about today?
Okay, so Catherine, please tell us about Open Table, its purpose, and how it came about.
Open Table is a program that has been developed by a businessman in Arizona. Its purpose, I think, is well stated in its taglines. They have a couple of taglines. One is transforming poverty through community, and the other one is from poverty to community. And I think that tells us what we want to know about its purpose, that it's hoping one person at a time to bring people from poverty into some kind of sustainable way of life. The way it got started was a man by the name of John Katov, and I'm not sure that I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. It's Katov, in Phoenix, a relatively new Christian of a Methodist church there, and once a week they took a bunch of granola bars and water down to the food shelf, and they set up a table, and people came up to the table and took those things, and they stood behind the table and handed them out. And then they went home every week feeling very smug and Christian-like because they had handed out these granola bars. One day, I do not remember exactly the scenario, but a man named Ernie came forward, and for whatever reason, John came from behind the table and handed Ernie the granola bar and the water. And he realized there was a really different feeling about that. And he began to strike up a relationship with Ernie, and Ernie was homeless and had no job, and he thought, well, you know, there are a lot of people at my church who could help him to find these things. And so that's actually how it was born. He's a businessman, so he formed a boardroom table of people who would sit around the table and meet with Ernie and help him to do things. One of the important things that they learned was that they could not, their purpose was not to create mini-me's. There are a couple of examples. One is they helped Ernie find a job as a security guard, and he chose the night shift. And they said, why would you choose the night shift? Because that's lonely and you're away from everybody, and because in their world they didn't want to be on the night shift. But Ernie said, actually, the solitude of working the perimeter at night is very healing for me. I really enjoy doing that. So Ernie stayed on the night shift. Then Ernie saved up enough money and he wanted to buy a home, and he chose to buy a mobile home, a trailer. Okay. And they said, John in particular said, we can help you to find a house that's nicer than that. And Ernie said, but that's what I want. I don't want a house, I want a trailer. And so it was a big lesson, I think, for everybody to understand that helping people to form their goals, they really need to be their goals, not our goals. So right. The purpose is to help them to establish goals and then to accomplish those goals.
Great. Is it a faith-based organization?
You know, I'm not sure that I know the answer to that question. I believe it is, but I don't believe that it is sponsored by any particular church, because John is a Christian, and he has chosen the route of working through churches. As far as I know, all of the tables are established through churches, though I can see that a Rotary Club or some other organization like that could accomplish this purpose.
Great. How does the team go about choosing a person in the community that they wish to help?
Well, something I should have said earlier is that we don't actually have a table here at Christ Church yet. We have applied for licensing and we're still in that process. I understand from talking to people in the organization that sometimes that is a bit difficult, finding someone locally to help groups establish people and bring them in. Austin is rather unique in that a man who works for Nexus, his name is Jeff Hansen, has seen this program. Nexus is the organizing, managing entity for our local Girard, which is an in-house residential program for children and young people who have some need to be away from their parents and have some special help. And because he has observed Open Table and because he believes in it so much, he has chosen Austin, where he already has a facility, to pilot a program. So we're piloting the program here in Austin, and we will be partnering with First Congregational Church, and Nexus will pay the licensing fee for us, so we do not have to do that, and they will also pay for all of the testing to vet anyone that they bring to us.
Okay. How much is the cost for that?
The licensing fee is $500 a year.
Okay.
And to sit on the table, each person is asked to pay $120, which is the equivalent of $10 a month, but it is required that it be all up front. The reason for that is, in their experience, they have seen that when people don't have, as they put it, skin in the game, they
Correct.
tend to drop out and don't stick with it. So they're requiring that. And they cautioned me that some churches paid that $120 for people and got exactly the same result. They dropped out.
Correct.
So I have made the decision that if that is a barrier for people, I'm willing to perhaps pay half of it or help them with something as a means of scholarship, but I probably won't pay it all.
Great. How many volunteers are on the team, and how are they chosen?
Well, volunteers are chosen at this table like they're chosen every place else. Please come and help us. We have done some programming and some Skyping to explain about the program, and we have 5 people who have signed up and are excited about participating in the program from Christ Church, and the First Congregational Church has that same number of people. Young people need 10 and adults need 12. In all likelihood, because of Girard and Nexus, we will have a young person, so we think we're set with our 10.
Great. Are there any specific talents that they're required of some of the members? For example, do they require a background in education or a background in accounting?
No. There are, I don't know the correct word. Again, I haven't totally experienced this program yet, but the places at the table would be set up so that someone would know about money, and someone would know about education, and someone would know about medical issues or transportation or whatever comes out once the goals are established for the person. But it certainly does not mean that a person needs to be an expert in medical things or transportation or money or hospital. Or what we need at the table is someone who is willing to go and do the legwork and the research to find out the information that needs to happen, not be self-sufficient in all knowledge.
Great. How long is the commitment?
It's a year.
Okay.
I do believe that some groups have elected to extend, maybe because all the goals weren't quite met and they could see an end, but they hadn't reached it yet. But the initial commitment is for a year to meet with the person once a week.
Once a week.
For a year.
Great. Do you do an assessment after the year then of the program? Or?
Another one of those things I'm not certain about the answer, but I have seen some studies that have been done at going back and looking at people, so I'm guessing yes, that there is an assessment.
Okay. It's not just unique for Minnesota then, it's pretty much...
It's not. The last time I looked, it was, Open Table is in 20 states and 120 cities, I believe.
Great. So what is the process for bringing the Open Table to the community?
There is a website, theopentable.org. And under resources, you can request information. But there's a lot of information on that website. There have been videos made by various churches who have participated and are participating in the program. So there are a lot of things that you can learn on that website. But in order to begin the process, one must apply for the licensing registration, I think.
Okay, great. Is there anything else you'd like to offer today?
You know, we know enough to be dangerous at this point. We don't know everything because we haven't even met our person. But I think we're all excited, and there's a passion in this church for dealing with poverty and having people's lives be healed in that way. There are so many things about poverty that hurt people and keep them from being able to be all that God created them to be. So this doesn't work on large numbers, but it works through relationship, and that's how Jesus works with us. So
Awesome program, it sounds. Well, thank you so much for talking with us.
thank you for asking me.
And this sounds like an excellent program, and I wish you the best for your success.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.